There's a lot of things that can totally ruin your camping trip, and I'm here to stop that from happening. What's going on, guys? It's Samantha from Lone Crow Adventures, the channel where we talk about all things camping, hiking, and backpacking. Today, I thought I would share with you the truth about what actually ruins a camping trip. A lot of times, it's not exactly what you think. The first thing is that you need to manage your expectations. You might be watching a lot of camping YouTubers or bushcrafters or hot tenters or whatever you're into, and everybody makes everything look so easy and flawless. But let me tell you, there is a lot of things that get edited out. You need to adjust your expectations and be open to the fact that sometimes it might rain, it might be windy, it could be overcast, it could be one of those days where it just seems randomly cold because there's no sun. There could be a lot of different things that happen. It could be really, really windy and you can't get a fire going, or maybe you buy firewood and you can't get a campfire started because maybe you don't have the skills that you need to actually do that. So just manage your expectations. Know that it doesn't need to be the Instagram version of the camping trip. Just keep it fun and keep a good 30% of your psyche ready to roll with the punches at any time, because Mother Nature can throw you a wild one. If you're wanting to ruin a camping trip, then make sure that you plan every single detail down to 10-minute intervals of when you're going to wake up, what you're going to eat, what time you're going to get dressed and leave the campsite, what hikes you're going to do, what attractions you're going to see. Leave a little bit of spontaneity in there, because number one, things are going to take a lot longer than you think unless you're a really, really dialed in camper. And number two, you may encounter some things on your camping trip that you want to do out of spontaneity. I'm like that a lot. I'm kind of like the figure it out when we get there person. And the warden, she is a plan every single thing detail. So over the years, we've worked together to leave enough room for my spontaneity and enough room for her structured planning that we both feel pretty comfortable. We have it pretty much dialed in right now. But if you're going to plan like 12 activities for every single day, know that you're likely only going to get to a handful of them. And that may put a lot of stuff on the table that you don't get to, which could lead to some disappointment. Now, the over planning, that kind of leads into the next point, which is something that can ruin your trip is underestimating how long everything takes. Unless you are a really avid camper with a really, really good skill set, it may take you a lot longer than you think to set up your tent, or to pump up the air mattresses using one of those pump sacks, or to get a fire going, because depending on the conditions, it can be easier at times and more difficult at times. If it's dark when you get to the campsite, or if darkness is looming because the sun is setting, that can put some extra pressure on there. And just plan for a lot of time. Plan for everything to take a lot of time, because you might be able to whip up a great meal at home in 20-25 minutes around the stovetop. But if you try to do that same meal when you're camping, that's going to take an hour easily, because you don't have a sink, you don't have running water, you don't have all of your cutlery and tools and things organized in a way that's easy to get to them. So if you're planning a 3-course meal at the campsite, plan for it to take at least twice as long as it does to make that same meal at home. And also be prepared to start cooking way before it gets dark. Don't cook in the dark. You'll be upset. Another thing that can really ruin your camping trip is if you're not able to embrace the suck. There are a lot of things about camping that are not fun. Mosquitoes are not fun. Rain is not fun. Wind is not fun. Cold generally is not fun. But if you can find the joy and find the satisfaction in those crappy moments that kind of want to drag you down, you're going to have a much better time. If you roll out to the campsite and you just accept, you know what, I'm probably going to sleep terribly tonight. You know why? Because I'm sleeping on a camping mat with a tiny little camping pillow, and my neck's gonna bother me, my shoulder's gonna bother me, my back's gonna hurt. But you know what? That's okay, because I'm gonna have a good time. Just embrace the suck, but find the joy in it, if that makes sense. If you don't do that, you're gonna have a terrible time. Another thing that people say ruins their camping trips is bad weather. Now, let me tell you, bad weather does not ruin your camping trip. You ruin your camping trip by not being prepared for the bad weather. Take a look at the forecast, and if the forecast is not favorable, make an honest decision on what you're going to do. Are you still going to go camping? Because if there's 3 inches of rain in forecast for the weekend, you're going to have to adjust your expectations, or you're going to have a miserable time. This has happened to us on a couple of occasions. We had a camping trip a couple years ago planned to the UP, Michigan, and we had everything booked and everything all set up. And then when it came time to go, the forecast was just absolutely awful. And it was going to rain, so we decided, you know what, it's better than sitting around here. We've got all this stuff ready. Let's just go. And we were prepared. We had tarps. We brought cots so that way it would bring us up off of the ground, because we knew that the tent might experience a flood, which it did, a minor one. But we experienced just downpour rain. We had board games in the tent. We had a cooler full of beer. We had a fantastic time. And I don't regret going on that trip at all. But if I would have packed for that trip and planned for that trip the way it was initially planned, which was supposed to be nice weather, we would have been pretty miserable. And we probably would have come home early. And also realize that it's okay to change your mind. We had a canoe trip booked to the Boundary Waters. This may be 3 years ago. And we had a 5-day overnight portaging trip planned. Well, we planned it for, I think it was like the last week in April or something. And we had just an unusually cold winter that year. And of course, we called up to some people that were up in the area and different park rangers and whatnot at Voyageurs National Park and some other areas. And there was still ice on the waterways, and we were about 2 weeks out. And I kind of thought, geez, it might be melted by the time we get there. It might not. And if it's not melted, going on a canoe trip when there's ice everywhere is not my idea of fun. I'm mostly like a hiker, a backpacker, and then a car camper. I like to do these overnight canoe trips, but I don't do them very often, and I didn't feel comfortable in my skill set. So we changed the trip. We didn't end up going, and we ended up going hiking on the Ice Age Trail that weekend instead, which was not as much fun, but it was probably more fun than having a giant hole broke in the canoe by an iceberg and sinking like the Titanic. So let's take a minute and talk about food. Food is something else that can ruin your trip. You might have a lot of really complicated meals that are planned, and then once you get out there, you realize, oh geez, I didn't bring enough food for everybody, or it's way too difficult. Oh, I need to pivot, right, and make something different. Or you might plan a lot of elaborate things to make, and then realize that you're spending the whole day either cooking, washing dishes and cleaning up after cooking, or starting a fire and getting ready to cook again. If you're trying to do 3 squares a day, especially for a big group of people, that's really, really stressful. So I've personally found that, having a nice hot breakfast, eggs, bacon, sausage, whatever you want for your protein. And then I don't even cook a carbohydrate for breakfast. We don't do toast. We don't do oatmeal unless we're on trail. But I'm talking about car camping. I'll do a hot breakfast. And then for lunch, it's kind of like every man for himself, every lady for herself. And you can make a sandwich. You can grab some jerky. You can grab some beef sticks. But there's no cooked lunch. And then we have the main meal for supper, which I try to do a lot of one-pot dishes. Or I'll try to do, something fairly simple where maybe I'm throwing some pork chops on the grill, and I've got baked potatoes on the side, and then a quick little vegetable or something like that. But, one component meals are a lot easier. So, if you're trying to be a little bit more healthy, think about making some chicken skewers, right? You can make those up at home before you even get out to the campsite. You get your skewers, you put your chicken on there, your onions, your peppers, your mushrooms, and pack them all up in foil. And that way for one of the dinners, you just lay those puppies out on the grill. That way you've got your veg, you've got your protein right there, and it's one simple step. So plan your meals, because food can be really stressful, especially if you're entertaining people at the campsite. I've done that so many times where, I like to cook outside, and I find it to be stressful sometimes when you're entertaining a lot of people at your campsite. So do what I say, not what I do. Another thing that can ruin your camping trip is not having a clear delegation of duties for what everybody's responsibility is. I have seen a lot of people fight in my camping life where, you'll see a couple pull up, maybe they've got a couple kids. Most of the time I see the kids don't have any responsibilities whatsoever. And I think that's kind of horse manure, because kids need to learn how to enjoy the outdoors and do so responsibly by helping out the family. So I think it's important, even if it's just small jobs, like, let's say you got a 10 or 12-year-old son, have him go fill up the water jug at the spigot, right? Give him a job to do, something that is easy enough that if he screws it up, it's not a big deal, but something that, is solely his responsibility that nobody's going to help him with. That's going to be really good for his self-confidence, and it's just going to take a little bit of the weight off of your shoulders. And also, figuring out, okay, who's going to cook the food, and is the same person that's cooking the food also going to be responsible for washing and drying the dishes and putting all the stuff away? Who's going to be the person that packs up the car when the camping trip's over? Who's going to be the person that rolls up the sleeping bags, rolls up the camp mats? When the warden and I go camping, we are each kind of responsible for our own thing. I roll up my own mat, I roll up my own sleeping bag, I take care of all my own gear, and she does the same for hers. Sorry, I was being bit by a mosquito. And then, we jointly will take down the tent. If it's like a small backpacking tent or something, I usually do that while she's, maybe getting the food ready or something like that. But there's always a person in motion doing something during the time when camp chores need to be done. So just make sure if you're going camping in a group, or if you're going on a family camping trip, that everything is divided equally between husband and wife's responsibility, and then delegate some of that stuff to the kids too, because otherwise they'll just be sitting on their camp chairs watching their phones, which is stupid, but that's what kids do. So give them a job. One of the unfortunate things that you do have to be prepared for, and it can ruin a trip, and you have very little control over this, but it's other people at the campground. People could have a generator running. There could be a loud group of people a couple doors down. There could be screaming, crying children at another campsite. There could be loud music blaring. I mean, we have witnessed it all. Even like couples that are angry, fighting and, screaming at each other. The whole campsite can hear, right? When you're camping at a campground, you're going to encounter the general public. And sometimes it really sucks to interact with the general public, because people are morons a lot of times. Most of the time people are really good, but a lot of times there's just idiots out there, and those idiots can kind of ruin your trip. So, it's happened to us. I remember we went to the Smoky Mountains, and all of a sudden, right across from us, these girls show up. They were college girls. Oh my gosh, there must have been 15 of them showing up on this site, and they had this hokey little teepee that they set up, and it was a show. We just sat out and, had our little campfire, and we just watched these girls as the night went on, because they just kept getting more and more intoxicated, And then the next morning, like, believe it or not, they actually packed up and left before us. They kept us up all night. I don't know how they did it, probably because they're young. And next thing you know, we wake up and, you know, within just moments of them waking up, it's like all 15 of them are like gone. Anyway, so Sarah and I walk across the street and like we go, you know, inspect their campsite, which of course there's, you know, bottles and everything everywhere. And there must have been like 6 puke piles, you know. It was just totally out of control. But instead of letting it get under our skin and making us real agitated because it was keeping us up all night, we just kind of, you know, laughed along with them. I guess we were kind of laughing at them. But we just tried to find the humor in the situation, or else we would have been pretty miserable. Preparation is the biggest key that's going to keep you from ruining your trip. And part of preparation is packing the right gear and also remembering to pack all those little things that you might forget about, like a lighter, garbage bags, hand sanitizer, the kind of camping gear that you don't generally associate with camping gear because it's like regular household stuff that you need. So I want you to watch this video next. It's going to go through the most forgotten items on a camping trip, so that way you can make a list of it, make sure you don't forget it on your trip.